After winning the national championship in the last game he will play in a Michigan uniform, Michigan will be without their heart and soul of their team in Blake Corum. In this video we will break down why Donovan Edwards is the next star running back for the Michigan Wolverines. But before I break down why Donovan Edwards is the next star running back for the Michigan Wolverines, subscribe for more Michigan Wolverines football content. In Donovan Edwards' freshman season, even though he did not get many touches in his freshman season, he showed Michigan fans in those touches the absolute talent that he has. In his freshman season, he had 35 touches for 174 rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. He also had 20 receptions for 265 yards and 1 receiving touchdown. In Donovan Edwards' sophomore season, he finally had his breakout season, breaking off many key runs through the season for Michigan, including 2 long touchdown runs of 75 yards and 85 yards to seal the Wolverines' second straight win over the team down in Ohio. Donovan Edwards' final stat line in his sophomore season was 140 carries for 991 yards, just shy of that 1,000-yard rushing mark, 7 rushing touchdowns, and had 30 receptions for 249 yards. Just this past season in Donovan Edwards' junior season, even though he hadn't been relied on as much as his sophomore year because Blake Corum stayed healthy that year, or this season and not last season, he didn't get relied on as much this season. And even though he wasn't, he still provided that breather for Corum, and he still added that, extra punch for Michigan's offense in that run game in Michigan. Although Donovan Edwards wasn't really relied on as much this season in his junior season than his sophomore season, he did show up in one game, and that one game was the biggest game of the season in the national championship against the Washington Huskies. In that game, he had 2 huge touchdown runs in the first quarter of 41 yards and 46 yards, being on, I believe, not back-to-back possessions, but back-to-back scoring possessions that Michigan had that put Michigan up 14-3 going into the second quarter of the national championship. And when you talk about a player that just set that tone of that game, that was Donovan Edwards. It was just a reminder that he's still there. He can still be that player for Michigan. And he never, really was away from that. It was just more the fact that Corum was backed, and he was just a backup for Corum this season. Going back to his sophomore season, the national championship really reminded me of that fourth quarter against Ohio State when he broke off those 2 runs in Ohio to beat Ohio State and just seal that win for Michigan even better. And that just, pretty much was the same reminder in that game. It's just he's there, bro. He can just break out a run whenever he wants, break out of a run, break out in the open field, and just make you pay, make the defense pay. And he really did in that game. So the first reason why Donovan Edwards will be the next star running back for the Michigan Wolverines is, the most obvious one is just his game experience. Going back to, like I said, national championship on the biggest stage in his, life, he broke off 2 huge runs of 41 and 46, and put Michigan up 14-3 in that first quarter in the national championship. And that's a big thing. If you're able to play your game and play your style of game and just be confident in what you're doing, even in the biggest moments, that's what makes you great. That's what makes you great. And he just doesn't shy away from that, nervous, or from those big moments. He just keeps going. The next big reason why Donovan Edwards will be the next star running back for Michigan is when you watch his film, his highlights, the biggest thing I think that sticks out to me is just his ability to accelerate, his quickness, his top end quickness, his ability to just get from 0 to 100 real quick. And it's just a blink of an eye. He can be, breaking off a tackle, and then he can be in the open field, and he can just be gone. And he's just one of those guys that, like I said, he just has that explosiveness and that quick, decisive, decision-making ability that it's just hard for defenses to really come up with an answer for him. Because once he breaks off of a tackle or something like that, you've seen in those Ohio State games, once he gets through those creases, he can be gone in a split of a second because of that, how fast he is at accelerating. Another big thing that is overlooked, I feel a lot in college football, is versatility as running back, being able to be a good pass catcher, and that's what Donovan Edwards has. That's the next reason I think that he could be a next star running back for Michigan is his versatility. Like I said, it's a thing that's overlooked, I think, a lot in college football, just being a one-dimensional back. But if you can be a two-dimensional back, you're just that much more valuable, and it just adds another aspect and that another dimension to your game. And, going back to his junior season, he was targeted 30 times for 249 yards still, even when he was backed up to Corum. So it's just if he's able to have those starting reins, right, for the first time in his career in his senior season, And, you know, he's able to rush it really well and just have that extra dimension of that starting running back and having that pass catching ability and lining up as a receiver. You know, that's just another, you know, big thing that whoever is going to be the starting quarterback for Michigan, could be Alex Orji, could be Jaden Davis, who knows. But whoever is the starting quarterback will benefit greatly because of that. And that is why I believe Donovan Edwards will be the next star running back for Michigan. If you guys enjoyed this video, subscribe for more Michigan Wolverines content.